Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, and it might be kind of loud in here because it's raining like hell outside right now. But how are you doing today, Margot? Good to see you. Blue, welcome, welcome. Yes, it's me. I'm back and I'm live, and today is the last day for chemo and radiation. Lisa is pretty ecstatic. I am too. Uh, Man, it's been a long road. We start in a couple of weeks. She's going to get another PET scan, and basically that should the reduction of the mass. And you know, I've already seen a reduction in size because every week when she goes in to get her radiation, there's a sort of a rudimentary CT scan that's done simultaneously, and I've seen the images a couple of times, so I already see that the sides are reducing and the thing has a hook in it now, so the shape of it has changed considerably. Hey, Carmageddon, how you doing? Hey, C, welcome. So anyway, she graduates from radiation today. She gets done with chemo in about an hour or so, and then we'll try to get downstairs and get her to radiation, and then we'll be able to strut away from this place for a little while. Once she gets her, hey, drop it like a Scott in the house. I don't have the gunfire, sorry, but it's melodramatic when you get here now. Um, anyway, so when we get out of radiation today, we're going to be starting or waiting for a schedule for that PT scan, the PET scan, and then we will be waiting for an appointment with her oncologist, cancer care doctor, and he will be scheduling the immunotherapy. And apparently, there's two types. Northern Tiger, how you doing? Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, 30th anniversary coming up Sunday. I had to cheat. I couldn't wait. I opened the box. It's like a kid sneaking into the Christmas storage. All right, I'm trying to talk here. Come on. I don't know if you guys can hear how loud that is, but that's loud. The rain is really coming down. I mean, not rain. In Florida, it's liquid sunshine. Correct my error, excuse me. So anyway, there are two types of immunotherapy. There's one, and they take between, some of them are 40 minutes, some of them take an hour, and it's an infusion just like a chemotherapy. But she has a port in her chest so that they don't have to stick her veins constantly. Zombie 5, how you doing? But anyway, so in a couple of weeks we'll find out from her oncologist which one that she is going to get, and one of them is every 2 weeks, and it's an hour, 40 minutes to an hour every 2 weeks. The other option is one that is the same thing, 40 minutes every 3 weeks. So, got around last day of harvest here. All right, Margot, good luck to you. Have fun, and we will talk to you a little later. Thanks for stopping by no matter what. So anyway, we are kind of hoping that we'll get the every 3 weeks. One thing's for sure, we want to do this meet and greet in Florida, and as soon as she gets her strength back, she's got to recover from the treatment as much as she's got to get strength back from almost a year now of being just about chair ridden. So we're gonna get her strength up. We're gonna get her feeling good, get her energy back, and then we're gonna start looking at a good date and a good location to have the meet and greet in Florida for the fellow YouTubers and other patriots that want to come and hang out. So we're going to work on that again to give us something to focus on. But I think next month, after the old payday comes in, I think I'm going to get her out of here for a week or so. because no matter what, we've got, even if we have our appointment by then, we're still going to be 2 weeks away from her um, immunotherapy starting. So I think we'll go down, go to Crystal River, maybe play with the manatees, or go to Jacksonville and go see Miss Belinda. We're going to do something. We're going to get out of here for a little bit, but I'll still be on the tubes. How you doing, Propus? Good to see you. But, oh, well, thank you, man. Scott? Yeah, I didn't know what it would do, because it's, when you got that Indian blood, it's so hard to grow facial hair. I can't even believe it doesn't have all the patches and stuff. But I've always had a mustache ever since I was 13, but trying to grow a beard just wasn't my thing. I couldn't get it done, but I guess getting older, the hair falls out more easily. It just goes from the head down. It just falls out of your face once it comes off your head. But anyway, so that's the update on Lisa. Things are good. Graduation today, and I got her a little something something for her graduation of the radiation, and then basically we're going to drive home today with a strut, because a month ago, a little over a month ago, we were talking about being apart, because it was not good, not even a little bit good. We didn't know she had a week left. Her left lung had been completely shut off. There was no function. Doing hot hair on my feet. Yeah, imagine that. That would be funny. I wouldn't need slippers anymore. But yes, I mean, it was pretty spooky, and we're not. There's no illusion here. We're not out of the woods completely, because I mean, we're talking about lung cancer, but the reality is that her body has done extremely well with the therapy. Um, you can't ask for much more than that, because she has tolerated the chemo. She has done really well with the radiation. She has a lot of chest pain. Um, the radiation is literally cooking this mass that's in her trachea, and right behind the trachea is your esophagus. So obviously that's going to get some residual heat from the radiation too. So it ends up cooking her esophagus and makes it real difficult to eat, because trying to swallow, it's like the most insane heartburn. But Knight has trouble growing a beard too. Yeah, well, he got his going good and then lost it. I know what you mean. I have Indian blood a little facial hair too. Yeah. Well, fortunately, I'm still only half Native American. I am half Viking, so I should have hair all over my body. But I took after my mom more than my dad, and my dad was the epitome of the wolf man. So I missed out on that. But that's okay too, because I don't want to have to shave my back. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. All right. So Lisa has tolerated this very well. I mean, obviously she's been ill, but we've kept her body weight up. We pretty much kept her. She was 118 when we went in. That was a little over a month ago, and she dropped down to 111, and she actually did that fairly rapidly. So we got a little bit concerned about that. That was from 118 to 111. I think was in a little over a week. But then we got her back up to 113, and for the last 3 weeks, I guess it's almost 3 weeks now, that we've been able to keep her at that. So no weight loss, tolerated the chemo and the radiation very well, and you cannot ask for anything else. You guys kept the prayers coming. I just can't thank you enough for that. No way that you can thank somebody enough for that. The prayers were the first thing that started knocking this thing out, because I don't know if you guys remember back when we first started this thing, Um, I made it clear that when she was officially diagnosed, it was diagnosed at stage 4. When we were seeing the doctor and he saw the imagery, he said that it had already reduced in size without any treatment. So it went from stage 4 to stage 3, and now it's reducing in size. And the thing is, with chemo and radiation, it continues to work for probably up to 2 to 3 weeks after you're done with the treatment. But then the body kind of takes over, and the your body will reabsorb the dead cells from the cancer mass. So anyway, so we're good. We're in good shape, and you know, the combination of the prayers, of the holistic medicine that we've been using, and the chemical meds. I think that we have done this the right way. Yeah, Northern Tiger, I believe it would qualify because there is no other excuse for it. I mean, literally, there's no other reason for it. There has been no treatment. There was we hadn't even started on the holistic stuff yet. So there was no treatment. It was just the prayers from the people that took it from stage 4 to stage 3. And I'm sure, by God, I am sure that the prayers have helped her get through this without the massive side effects and without all the extra things that come with it. Um, you know, I believe in prayer. I believe it's the most powerful thing, and you guys have definitely proved that. And I could testify to anybody if they want to doubt it. I got the story right here in black and white. But all right, so it is 9:54. She went in about 9:30. Took me a few minutes to get to the van because get to the Jeep because of this rain. I didn't want to milk, sugar and all. So I waited for it to ease up for a minute and then ran to the van, the Jeep. God is still in the miracle working business, and Alex, we will continue to lift you guys up in prayer. Thank you, Scott. God bless you, brother. It really does mean so much to me with you folks. I mean, it's the community that I have around me. I do not have a big channel, and YouTube tries to make sure that I stay that way. But the reality is that's perfectly okay with me, because the community that I have around me, the patriots that surround us, are some of the best people on the planet. And if my channel never grows another subscriber after this, I'm okay with that too. But I have some of the best people in the world that surround me, and wouldn't trade it for anything. But, all right, so that is Lisa's full update. And now we gonna talk about some of the business, some of the garbage going on around the country. You might have noticed they've had a lot of peaceful protests in every city the last, couple of months. They've been doing some remodeling of their downtown area, getting rid of some of those old trashy buildings that have been around for over 100 years, getting those out of the way and, working to beautify their area. And the community bonfires that they've started in their peaceful protests is, singing Kumbaya as they dance around the fire has just been, it's really been nice to watch. But it's a little spooky how things are going. And it's been predicted for a while. Several of us out here on YouTube have been, throwing on our tin hat for a little bit. Robert Verhey, how you doing? Yeah, I try to bring the truth. some of it's opinion, but you know, I gotta get it out there because people are listening, and that's helpful. Uh, yeah, I love you back, Northern Tiger, but you know, I'm married, so you know, it just gets complicated, brother. Um, Jesus is first always. Yes. What do you make of the deep fake CGI videos that were put out about the president addressing the UN, causing tension in China? How many other Trump videos are fake? Um, there is a program that you can actually use, um, photoforensics.com. If you want to know how to actually find out if a video is fake or not, you take a still of it, and then you put it through this photoforensics.com, and it shows you how to read the photo also, and you will see there are several videos out right now that are completely CGI. And I haven't checked the one that you're talking about where he was dressing the UN. Um, maybe I should do that. But or if you beat me to it, just take a still, do a screenshot of it, do that, put it into the photo forensics, and also look at the information in photo forensics. It'll teach you how to identify what's CGI and what's not. Also, green screen stuff like that. So that's the way to do it. If these deep fakes are out there circulating, why hasn't Trump addressed this and have them taken down about him? Uh, I think there's a lot of different answers to that. Um, the There needs to be a lot of distraction right now because a lot of things are going on and a lot of things are getting ready to happen that are going to flip this country on its head. And I think the I think the distractions are helping progress. So all I can say is, as hard as it is right now, seeing the country burning, you've got to continue to have the patience. Um, a guy that I've been watching recently started a YouTube channel, and he's called the Angry Viking. I like this guy. He's direct. He's in your face, and he holds no bars. He does not mince his words. But he said it best. He said that he wants to put together a rally in Polk County, Florida, which is great. But he said that we want to show what the opposite of what's happening now looks like. And, you know, a big rally, a bunch of people together on the street, and, you know, no trash left behind, no burns, buildings burned, or as they call them, community bonfires, none of that. Peace, love, and harmony, celebration, community, that kind of thing. And I think it's a great idea. I mean, we see some of that at these flag waves, like Paint the Trump has been doing now for months now, and Volusia for Trump, I believe it what it is, and it's flag waving Volusia for Trump on Facebook, I think, but they do a lot of that. Hey Jeff, how you doing? But anyway, I think it'd be cool just to have a big ass rally, just to show them what civilized human beings look like, and just right on that same thing, the civilized human beings. Last night I was watching some of the garbage that's going on in the cities, and my prayers go out to the cops that were shot yesterday. That sucks for them. I mean, this is unprovoked attacks they're getting, and they still got to stand on their hands and can't do anything. It's a bunch of bullshit. Much respect to them because I couldn't. I would have to drop kick somebody in the throat for some of the shit these cops are having to put up with. But you know, God bless them. They patience of Job, as they say. But There was a girl last night, I think it was in Louisville, and she was absolutely berating and scolding the people in the audience. And then she belts out a, well, I'm 17 and I need to be telling you how to do things. And you just want to go up and say, come on, wake up, come on, you're still asleep. What in the hell thing makes a 17-year-old kid believe for 1 second that they can preach to people like me who have been on this planet for almost 50 years? It just ain't realistic. I mean, I could educate a kid like that. I could teach them some incredible information, but they won't shut up and sit down long enough to listen. If you start trying to educate them, as soon as you hit them with something that sounds like it's logical, you're a racist bigot, and the conversation's over. You have nowhere else you can go with it except for, all right, kids, shut up, you bother me, get away from me. But if they listen, they could learn an awful lot. Like the division that has been created with the left and the right paradigm, and the Democrat and the Republican. And like I've told you, the party system is an illegal entity within this constitutional representative republic. It was never supposed to exist. And you tell somebody that kind of stuff, they go, oh, well, you must be one of them tin hat wearing fools. But the reality is, the first party that ever existed in this country was called the Democratic Republican Party. You can look it up. And that's when everything went rogue. That's when the illegalities of this country began. Robert B., from what I hear and read, all the stuff that's going down there alone to be a smokescreen for them to follow, investigate. October, it is a challenging time. Yeah, it just takes some incredible patience. We just have to keep watching it and wait. If things get very, very bad, I fully expect the president to, I would expect that first he would call veterans, people that have been trained for combat. But then I think if it went further than that, it's entirely possible that he would call the entire militia. And like I've told you guys many times, a militia is not a group. It's the citizenry of the country. You, me, all of us, we are the militia. Just because it says, oh, well, you're part of the militia. Militia is not a group. It's the citizenry of the country. Cindy Ham, how you doing? From New Hampshire. Yeah, I spent some time up there. I went to the crane operating school up there. Oh, that was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. But I lived through it. So, yeah, I like New Hampshire. Don't like the politics, but the state's beautiful. This is what they teach them in school, to disrespect and the elders, false flag actors like Greta and Hogg propelled the children with rage attitude. Right. That's true. But sometimes these little kids lose their ever loving minds and they try to blow up and confront somebody like me. You know, the white hair, the old guy, frail and all that. They haven't approached me. Can't say that directly, but I've seen where they have made the same mistake with others and they get themselves leveled and asleep for their troubles. But they are just stupid. And it's not their fault. That's the problem. It's not their fault. They have been programmed to be this way. And to deprogram them it's going to take some time and effort. It's going to take all of us to continue to, push through the algorithms of YouTube, try to reach that extra voice each time we come out here, and hope that somebody goes, you know what, that's interesting. I'm going to look into that, because that's the goal here. I don't want you guys necessarily to just listen to what I'm saying. I want you to be able to back it up by going to look at what I'm saying, because I won't lead you astray. I never have. And if I say something incorrectly, I have no shame. I don't get embarrassed. So, I will get right back down here and say, I'm stupid. I was wrong. I didn't mean to. It ain't that big a deal. If I if I step on my tongue, I just put it back in my mouth and get it fixed and carry on. Uh, all American patriots are the militia. You are absolutely correct. That's the way it was designed in this country. You don't have to join the militia. Um, hello, Jabney. How you doing? Um, that's the problem. That's another example of creating a divide. Um, when when somebody says, "Well, I'm a member of the militia," and you say, "Oh, so am I," and then they look at you stupid. Well, I don't think you signed up for it. Well, when I was born and my mom and dad signed my birth certificate, which is also, illegal, different video. But anyway, when they signed that, they authorized me as a sovereign of the nation of the United States of America. They authorized me to join the state militia. Doing good. All right, cool. Doing good is good. Uh, keep up your chats. It's awesome when us stand as Americans. Absolutely. And that's what I try to do. I try to give tidbits of the way things are supposed to be. If I ever did a video basically of start to finish of all of the things that are illegal about the government of this country, it would be several hours long. I'd be half dead. You guys would be cross-eyed and probably going. Duh, 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 duh. So I try to do a little bit at a time in my videos so that it can be consumed and understood. But anyway, so if the president comes down to it and he feels it necessary, I believe he would call the veterans first to stand with the military and stand with the police. And then if it just wasn't getting any better, then I'm quite certain he would activate the state militias. Um, you said something incorrect. You ain't old, you're mature. Yeah, I'm seasoned. Thank you. Yeah, that's the way I feel. Um, anyway, so interesting stuff going on. Um, I had a subject that I was just going to say, and it just went. I don't even have the convertible open, so I don't know how the hell it got out of here. It just jumped right out of my head, and it was beautiful too. It was going to be poetic, but I'm sure it'll get back to me about 3 o'clock in the morning when I wake up in a cold sweat and sit up going, "I remember." But whatever. That's how you know when you are getting well seasoned, when things just go. You can't remember what you were going to say just a second ago. But anywho, going back to the party system, the first one that actually declared himself to be a Republican and move away from the Democratic Republican Party was Abraham Lincoln. And some people have argued and said, "Oh, well, what about the Whigs?" The Whigs were not a party. The Whigs were a citizen government. The problem is that they all felt like they needed to be wearing their flea-bitten hair pieces in order to show stature. So they were referred to as the Whigs. My mom and dad didn't sign my birth certificate, but when I got older and went into the job world, I made my birth certificate and had to sign to get it. Interesting. Um, yeah, there's so much about the birth certificate and the Social Security and all of these things that they're contracts that were made against your will, and your parents signed those contracts on your behalf without knowledge of the contract. So technically, you can say your enslavement to the debt of the corporation of the United States of America was involuntary, therefore it's void. but a bunch of things have to change before we can get broken loose of this corporation. But just keep in mind that you, as a person, as a citizen, you are a product of the corporation of the United States. And there's a process to go through where you can separate from the corporation, but you're not giving up your United States sovereign residency. You are still an American. You're still a sovereign of the United States, but you are not a citizen of the corporation. Um, but that's the best source for learning about that I've found is icons or ICONS, International Community of National Sovereigns. He's a guy that does videos fairly regularly, but he gets into some pretty good detail about separation from the corporation. And he would be a good source to start picking up on listening to some of his videos from the past and learning a little bit about how to become sovereign in a corporate nation. The older we get, the more we see the changes. That's true. AB, how you doing? Let's see. I am matured in season 2. Got me. Well, that's good. It's nice to be well seasoned. But anyway, I I was looking through the 14th Amendment, and there's a lot going on right now that's going to be popping out of that 14th Amendment here pretty soon, I think. Um, by white wigs to let young people guard down frail people and introduce the right principles by doing things by example, take over the government by being the proper government we want to see. That's true, but the government needs to be reset. Um, yeah, thumbs up, please. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. That does help. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so if you like my content. If you don't like my content, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you on the next one. But um, yeah, the government needs to be reset. It needs to go back to being a constitutional representative republic. The two-party system needs to be abolished because that creates a democracy within a republic, which is illegal. The problem is when I say a democracy within the republic, each chamber, the Senate and the House, both have a democracy within them. Because when you're voting, they need one extra person on their side, and then they can dictate the rules for every single person in the world, damn near. They think they do, but in the country anyway, they think that if they can get one more person on their side, they don't have to listen to the other side at all, and that's exactly what they do. The Republicans do it too. When they have a majority in the House, then or in the Senate, they just railroad their shit through, and they don't care about the other half. And that is wherein lies the problem. I am good, thank you. Older we get, the more we can understand with God's grace. That's true. The Constitution says we are a republic, right? But what the hell's a Constitution anyway? That has been the attitude for decades, oh geez, probably since 1871 actually. I think it was December 20th, if memory serves me correctly. Or was that I think that was the signing of the Federal Reserve Act, was December 20th. I think it was February 1871 when we were turned back over to the rule of the Queen. And one word was changed in the Constitution, which is illegal. The Constitution has been absolutely shit on since that day, and they changed one word in the Constitution, that created a control system for the corporation. The problem is they didn't have the authorization to do it. They just said, we're going to do it. And they never went to the people. They never went to the states. When you change that document, it requires a thing called ratification. You have to have 38 states approve an amendment or any change to the Constitution, and it needs to be unanimous. They can't say, well, we were close. But in 1913, when the Federal Reserve Act came in, that was never ratified. So it's an illegal.
New text message from Mom.
Oh, hi, Mom. The ratification was never done. So it was never supposed to be. Therefore, it can be turned off just like a light switch. Wolf, how you doing? Okay, cool. Thank you, brother. God bless you as well. Um, Obama was the first and the only president that I ever heard to say that the Constitution was outdated and needed to be rewritten. Yeah, that one made me gulp a little bit too. I remember that exactly. I just about died. But that's basically what we're dealing with right now. They do not respect the Constitution. The, the founding fathers were geniuses, but the criminals have figured out how to override them. And, you know, 1871 was step one when they saw they got away with it. I mean, the criminals, you got to treat them like 5-year-olds. If you take a 5-year-old to a store and he throws a fit and says, I want that, you're like, oh my God, everybody's looking at me. Okay, fine, here, take it. You had lost every battle from that point forward. But it's the same thing with the Democrats, with the criminal cabal that has taken over the country. They got one little tiny word in the Constitution and they changed it. Nobody said a word about it. I think a lot of people didn't realize because a lot of people just never read it. They took it for granted that it was there and they assumed somebody else was going to read it. They were going to take care of it for us. You know, we can trust them. They the government. So they got one tiny little word changed without any pushback. And then the snowball came. Every time they wanted to do something, they just said, oh, piss on it. They didn't bother with us last time. We'll do another one. And then another one. And then another one. They don't care. They just keep railroading their way through. Let's see, being they do not respect the Constitution, that means they do not respect us, the people. That has been proven many times over. Eldon Gomez, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, they do not care about the people. It's all about the wealth and the distribution of money among the top echelon of the cabal. You have incredibly rich people that just never feel like it's quite enough, so they continue to steal from everybody around them. So it's pretty rough. Trusting the government is like trusting the snake to not bite us. Right. You sort of, if you're gonna stick your hand in a bear trap, you better be ready for it when it comes shut. But it's the problem also is people voting for the same crap over and over again, expecting a different result. There, you hear the left talking about, yeah, we vote for Biden because he gonna take care of us. Well, what the hell has he done for 47 years besides refer to black people as niggers and refer to integrated schools as jungles? That man is a racist pile of shit, and I have no respect for him. I don't respect any racist pile of shits. Here's the example. On my channel, I don't care if somebody comes in my chat and cusses me out. I don't tolerate them coming into my chat and cussing somebody else out in my chat. That they want to direct stuff they can direct it at me. I have no problem with that. That's called the freedom of speech, and I'll uphold that. But if a racist pile of shit comes into my chat, I'll drop kick them. I mean, my mods will roll them out the room, and without hesitation, without remorse, and without regret. That's my stipulation. That's how much I hate racism. It's ignorant. It's Racism is based on a lack of education and understanding of the human body and of the spirit, and absolute ignorance. So there's no justification for it other than their lack of education, and that can be responsible for a lot of stuff. Eldon, thank you. God bless you. Um, you slap them out of here, Jeff. Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir. Freedom Warrior. No way Biden is their plan. No. He'll be out soon. We just don't know the end plan. Well, here's the interesting thing. I predicted that they were going to put Camel Toe Harris in. I knew that she was the selected from the very beginning, and it's not really even that hard to see it. You have to look at their puppet show, and who did they keep bringing right out into your face? When she took on Joe Biden and referred to him as a racist pig that he is, which he is, and um, you know, just go back, look at some of the highlights of the stuff, look at how much attention they were paying to her, and then her numbers kept going down. So their chosen one was deteriorating before their eyes, but they didn't want to stop with her. That was their selected president. So the way that they did it was they moved somebody into the front position that the population could get behind because of ignorance and lack of education. Hold on a second. The Democrats have made so many promises to people that they have never upheld, and if they do uphold it, they want something in return, like removing our rights. Well, that's true, and they're not getting them. So anyway, I think Harris has always been the plan. I think they'll wait until right before the election, and Joe Biden will be, oh, I can't do it. You know, whatever he'll do, and he'll step out. And I don't believe that he's going to debate the president. I think that might be the start of the sign of him being dropped out. But what does that do? That moves the golden child into that front running position, exactly where they wanted her. They couldn't get her done by campaigning her. So next best thing is to put her right behind somebody that can be her front man, and then move him out of the way right before it gets to be time. And then you get your president, Kamala Camel Toe Harris. See how that works? But I don't know if you guys all agree with that, but I think that if you look at the way things are done, you will be able to put that together like I did. So nothing has surprised me at this point. I've seen everything coming, and I've always got my head on a swivel, and I always have my mind wide open, and I understand a lot of the games that are played, and so I don't let things sneak up on me. And when I do analyze stuff, I tend to be either really, really close or right on the money. And I just believe on this one, I'm really, really close. It's just the way I have put it all together. But here is the funny part, though. I haven't been able to deduce who is going to be the vice president. If you guys have seen something that I haven't, somebody that they've been kicking around a little bit in the background, trying to bring him into the forefront, I haven't seen that yet. So I don't know who they would be swooping in behind Kamala. But I will give you this based on my experience of understanding how they do vice presidents. The person on the front line will tend to pick a vice president that is not necessarily favorable to the people. And they do that absolutely on purpose because they know that that gives them an extra wall of security between the threat and, the people. They Because nobody is going to take out the president if they have somebody that would fall into place that really nobody can get behind. So that's kind of the way they do it. Joe should be coming down with COVID any day now. That's correct. I believe so. Yeah, because aren't we supposed to have the debate here this week? I thought end of September or next week, but I believe that we're just going to see that that's just not going to happen. I don't know what excuse they'll have. It's probably going to be the sniffles, but it could be anything. They could admit to his mental incapacitation and deterioration. Although I don't think they want to do that before the debate. Come to think of it, because they want to they want to get him right up to the line and then sweep him out of the way so that there's no turning back. Most of the early voting is already done, and everybody sort of gets surprised. But the 29th, okay. Um, Mike, I don't think so. Yeah, Tuesday. Sleepy Joe won't wake up in time. I don't know. They're going to come up with an interesting trick, but I did correct myself. I don't think they're going to do the um, mental disability yet. They might do he's starting to get symptoms. So we don't want to put him in public, put him at risk, put anybody else at risk. That will probably be done before the debate. But the final straw where they're going to sweep him out of the way and move their golden child up into their position, that will be really close to the election. We're talking probably in maybe the last week of October. They're going to try to keep him running around and faking his way through it until then, and then they'll get him out of the way, and all of a sudden you got your presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. Um, Joe won't debate. His car will be hit on his way to the debate, sending him to the hospital to be checked out. That's a good one. It's a good possibility. It'd be fun to just do a show sometime on how is Joe getting out of the debates. That would be funny. I bet you people come up with some really good stuff. I've already seen him coughing during his speech. Yeah, this a few days ago, couldn't get his breath. Coughing. Yeah, I saw all that too. It seemed well rehearsed. Sleepy Joe will not make it. Well, I don't think I think they're going to keep him propped up like they did RBG. Whether he makes it or not, he's got a pretty good lookalike out there, and even the president has said that in one of his campaign speeches, which blew my mind when he came right out there and said that shit. Oh, Uncle Joe, there are two. I don't know if you guys caught that, but he was. Oh, that one came right at me. But he came right out and said it. Oh, Sleepy Joe, there are two. And there's already pictures of the profile of both of them, and they both have different ears and different eyes and everything, but they're good. They're close matched. So I just thought that was really funny that he put that right out in a campaign speech. If Harris is put in place, she can make a pick on anyone to be vice president. She can even pick a rhino Republican, right? But like I said, the sort of unwritten rule is you got to put somebody in there that's not as desirable to the public. That they wouldn't be that interested in that person taking over as presidency. So that puts another layer of security in for the president to protect him from potential assassinations and things like that, because they don't want to make their situation even worse. But anyway, the other thing is I'm so sick of the media constantly hitting the president. Will you concede when you lose? And it's like, have you seen the rallies? I mean, President Trump, whether you love him or you hate him, it doesn't really matter. You have to look at what he's done, not what feelings have been hurt by what he said. No, I don't believe it would be Nancy. For one thing, that would be a potential threat directly to their president pick anyway, because you know damn well Nancy has a network and would be willing to get rid of that to move herself into position. But I just don't see that happening. Um, I, I don't see it being Hillary either. She's out of favor. She owes a lot of people a lot of money, so she will be running things on the periphery. You can guarantee that. But she's out of favor with the people, so I don't see her either. It's going to be somebody that you just wouldn't even think of. It's going to be somebody that the Democrats don't even know well. Maybe somebody that's just been quiet in the background, obscure and not well known. But again, it's part of the security system for the president by picking somebody that wouldn't necessarily fill the position well. I saw something refer to Biden as president the other day. Almost broke my phone. Yeah, I get tired of it. It's like they did that in 2016 also, Madam President. Oh, I mean, Madam Secretary. They were doing that constantly, and that's not an accident either. They put it in the head of the people. It's all psychological mind games, and the whole thing is to mentally procreate the entire population. There are other ways to say that, but it's a little disgusting. But CIA, Mockingbird networks and stuff have been doing this for so long they've become masters at it. But you have to be able to break away from it, and I'm one of those that I did that many, many, many years ago. I was still a teenager when I started to question things and think, there's some bullshit. There's something going on here. And that's when I started looking into stuff, because I've always been the person that I've had a well-tuned bullshit meter. And if I sense bullshit, my meter goes off. I'm all over it, and I find out what the hell's going on. Yeah, Jedi mind trick, right? Red October, yeah, that's on my mind, but a little vague still. Very difficult to analyze what may be. The only thing I can think of is that in order to push the liberals completely over the edge would be to get rid of some of their favorite people by very public arrest, because then that would allow you the ability to move in other situations, because the unrest would escalate 100-fold. So that gives you the excuse to move into your next phase. But that's pure speculation. I don't know. Like I said, not enough information for a educated synopsis of the plan. I think Trump won't step down if something like that happens. You mean if they try to steal the election? Because I don't think the Patriots will put up with that either. Because I don't care how stupid a liberal is. They can't be that blind. They can be stupid, but not necessarily blind. And if you see a Biden campaign with all 6 people there, and most of them are media, and then you see 25,000 people in a cattle pen at a airport, I mean, absolutely squeezed to the outer rims. You can be stupid, but you can't be blind to it. There is no way in hell that on a head-to-head, straight-up run that the Biden campaign stands any chance of beating the Trump administration. So if they come up with this miraculous win, we know it's bullshit. For one, the liberals do not have the numbers. And I've done an example of this before, and I can do it again. You can take a good conservative channel, um, take somebody like X22 Report, and look at their likes, look at their thumbs up, and then look at their thumbs down. That's a real poll. That's a representation of a true population. Because if somebody used the excuse, oh well, there's more conservatives on YouTube than there are liberals, that's a moron. We are probably all pretty equal out here, but you can look at the numbers and you can see the ratio. And that's probably a realistic ratio to life. If you've got like 25,000 thumbs up and then you have 1,000 or 2,000, figure 2,500 thumbs down. Easy number, 10%. So the illusion that's created by the media is that these liberals that are, having their community gatherings every night in the cities, that they outnumber us 100-1, and it's absolute crap. You can just look at life. Again, going back to paint the Trump. Oh, Jeff down there, he does it flag waving. They may have 100 Trump people go by honking their horn, thumbs up, and all of that, and then they'll get one of the freaked out weirdos that sticks their middle finger out the window and cusses out somebody they don't even know. That's a real number. That's a real poll. Wet tobacco. So, keeping that in mind, they don't stand a chance, realistically. And there's nothing they can say that changes that. So, the only way he wins is by some incredible magic tricks. After you read my comment, your live stream ended. Maybe just on my end, perhaps I'm on the money. Well, yeah. YouTube loves to play the games. Trump be my president too, no matter what. That's good. I will do my part and vote in person. Yeah, all of us need to do that. I won't wear the mask anywhere except for this hospital where I take my wife to, because I mean, whether it's for the sniffles or whatever, there are, and it's an entire building of immune compromised people. So yeah, I'll wear my mask in there, but I won't wear it anywhere else. But here's the dealio. If you had some prick at a voting station and you walk up and you say, I want to vote, and they say, well, you need to put on your mask, you can bitch out loud about it, but I would not allow them to turn you away from the voting station because you don't choose to wear a mask. If you have to, put that thing on your face, stick both fingers high up into the air, and you can tell him to kiss your ever-loving ass on your way by, and congratulate him on his loss of the election to Joe Biden. But do whatever it takes so that you can get your ass in there and vote. Freedom Warrior, I wanted to mention benzimidazole. Yeah, that's a dog wormer, and yeah, it's starting to show a lot of promise. There's a lot of truth in it. There are approximately right now around 50,000 case studies, and believe it or not, a lot of those are in China. So I don't know how we've been able to get any information out of that, but I think they want to take credit for it as the thing. I think they want to show that it works, and then be able to jump in there and take credit for it. bring him up in the stature. Um, if I have to in order to vote, I will. Yeah. Um, I'll do whatever it takes, but I can be very vocal. I can be that one that when people walk by, oh, there's that asshole. So I'm good at that. I would put my mask on. I'd do whatever I had to do, but boy, they would know damn well that I wasn't really cool about it. But, it's really odd that once people started saying that Antifa needed to unmask, we suddenly have a virus that forced people to have masks. I caught that too. It's interesting because, yeah, I knew that. It's amazing. But oh wow, it's 10:43. I've already been on here an hour too. Uh, Lisa is going to be coming out of chemotherapy here in about another 10 minutes or so. I don't want to be. I don't want her coming out and not having me up there. I've been with her from the very beginning, and even the facility that we go to says very plain English on the front door: no visitors of any kind allowed. You're supposed to drop off your patient at the door. But as an example of how I roll, I'm with her every day, every appointment, every single time. And it's where I tell people you got to stand your ground. You have to stand up to the tyranny, even the subtle tyranny within a small facility like this. You have to do your thing. And I did. I was fully prepared to stand there and be arrested and dragged out. I told him I'm prepared to go live on my YouTube channel. I said, you know, we can make a whole production out of this. I said, you tell me how you want to work it. And I said, but I made my wife a promise that she will not go through any of this alone at all, period. End of discussion. I said, I'd be with her 100% of the time, always from the beginning to the end of this thing. And I swore to it. I promised her, and that's what I do. And yeah, they were gone. Searched the world over until I found true love. Have a blessed day. You too. God bless you. Deidre Baker, how you doing? Just getting here, and I'm getting ready to have to jump off this thing. But just wanted to say I'm on my phone, as you guys know. If you're over there watching me on D Live, I'm not ignoring you guys. I don't have the capability of seeing multiple screens. I would hope that if you had an important comment, you would come over and drop it on YouTube real quick. But I'm going to be back up in my home studio probably around the first of the month. I got to get my dish realigned after that damn hurricane. I'm glad I didn't pay for that ahead of time, or else I would have had to pay for it again. But I don't have any signal going out of the house right now because my dish got all bent out of whack in the hurricane. So the first of the month, I'll be paying to get that done. But then I'll be back with you folks on D Live. If you drop diamonds and ice creams and lemons on me over there, I can't thank you enough. Appreciate you. And you guys are awesome. Facebook, if you guys are watching me over there, I never get notifications on Facebook. I just have to wave my hand and say, hey, thanks for hanging out. But anyway, if you guys like my shows, please tell your friends about me. Let's see if we can get past YouTube suppression and withholding the growth of this channel. See if we can break their algorithm. Tell your friends about me. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, do the subscribe, and I guess until the next time, unless you guys got something else real quick you want to throw up there, I'll give you a second or two. I got probably about 10 minutes. I'm going to finish this smoke anyway. But Eldon, thank you very much for that. Appreciate you. Anyway, big day today. We're about to be done with the hardest part for her. Just can't wait. We get done upstairs and chemo and take her downstairs to radiation. And we walk out of that place with a strut because we are on the way to kicking its ass. It shows how tough she is. because even though she's been pretty emotional through all this stuff, she is tough as nails. That's one of the biggest reasons I married her, because she's a woman's woman. She's cuddleable when she needs to be, but she's tough as nails when she needs to be, and that's what I like. She's she's my tough girl. All right, so I think I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. Appreciate you hanging out with me for the hour. Make sure you catch Pete today at his normal time. Much love, Pete. Anyway, y'all, stay in the fight.